a spring game date has officially been announced. We were kind of thinking this is what it was going to be, but it's officially announced for Saturday, April 19th at noon at the Big House in Ann Arbor. And we're going. So TJ's going. I'm going. The other Avengers are going, and some of the people in the community are going. And if you're going, let us know in the comments. Let us know that you're going to the spring game. We're going to be announcing in the near future some get-togethers and some opportunities to meet up, and it's going to be a great time. And I have to start the first player being the obvious one that I think is going to make this spring game record attendance. And that's number one recruit in the entire nation for 2025, the first ever 100 perfect score on 3 recruit, Bryce Underwood, coming to Michigan, playing in the spring game. And what we're hoping is that he is QB1 of either Team Maize or Team Blue, and he gets his opportunity to show off his skills, at least for a couple of quarters. Let's see what Bryce Underwood can do slinging that rock under Chip Lindsey and under this spread and smash scheme, TJ.
I mean, definitely. I mean, this is his opportunity to essentially make the fan base, make the coaching staff, make him QB1, snap one, game one of the season. Because if he just balls out, bro, if he absolutely just dominates the competition, it's going to be very hard for the fan base to not accept anything but Bryce Underwood starting snap one, game one. So yeah, I'm very excited. We're all watching. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, when he's on the field, when he's taking his first snap, man, or he drops back for the first time, we're all going to be, it might be quiet in the stadium. You know, everyone just be like, just watching with a lot of anxious excitement. So yeah, looking forward to that. That was also my number one player on my list, John. So we are on, on par.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And obviously, he is the one that we're all really here to see. Of
Right.
course, we want to see everybody. And I do anticipate they're going to be putting Mikey Keene as QB1 on the other team so that they both get their opportunity to sling the rock. And what I'm hoping is that both offensive coordinators, because as we know, each team will have a head coach and offensive coordinator, that both will call plays that enable those quarterbacks to show off everything that they can do. My one gripe with the JJ Cade auditions is that JJ got his opportunities and Cade, they really didn't call a lot of deep shots, and maybe because Cade couldn't make the deep shots. But I'm hoping that this time around, I'm hoping we can see the full capabilities of both of these quarterbacks and what they can do so that the coaches have all the information they need to make a decision for the New Mexico Lobos, who's going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, so Mikey Keene is also my number 2 player. So for those who don't know, me and John have not coordinated our list at all, but we are currently 2 for 2. But I agree with you, John. I think Mikey Keene is without question the number 2, or the second number 2 player that I am most excited to watch during the spring game. I want to see what he does. Now, John, I don't know if they're going to unleash his full capabilities or even Bryce Underwood's full capabilities, but I do think they'll have some fun with it. I think they'll give him an opportunity to, throw some, pretty good, passing plays. They're obviously not going to display their whole playbook or anything of that. It'll be very vanilla like most spring games, but at the same time, we should see a nice variety between the two. I will say, though, we will definitely see a little bit of what this Chip Lindsey offense has to offer, and that's also something I'm excited to look at. And chat, let us know in the comments who you guys want to see. Who's your top 1, 2, or 3 players you're excited to see for the spring game?
And we know that Marmar, he says he's definitely going. Jesse is going, our trucker friend.
Let's go.
He's going.
Hell yeah.
Ryan Hall is saying, and this was my number 3, Justice Haynes, to get that thunder and lightning, because we already know that Jordan Marshall is going to play a key part in the running back room at a high level. But Justice Haynes was brought in because of his experience, because he can help with that running back kind of duo, which is what I think they're probably going to do, something like a Haskins Corum, a Corum Edwards, a 1A 1B type situation. I can't wait to see Justice Haynes ball out at the spring game. What say you, TJ, seeing Justice Haynes in the maize and blue?
Yep. So Justice Haynes is my third top player that I am excited to see for the spring game. And what's interesting about this is I'm a firm believer, and we will have this debate all summer, I'm sure. I think Justice Haynes is going to take the bulk of the carries next season. I do think he's going to be RB1. I do think Jordan Marshall will get some run, but I think Justice Haynes is not only going to lead the team in attempts, but yards and touchdowns. I expect a big year out of Justice Haynes. I actually have a $20 bet against Garrison on the Ohio State Voice of College Football channel. He thinks Jordan Marshall is going to outproduce Justice Haynes. I disagree. So we've already made that bet. Let's just put it publicly so everybody knows now. But at the end of the day, I'm excited for Justice Haynes. I'm expecting big things. And actually, John, there's a video that actually just came out not too long ago. We should have had that ready for the viewers. But have you seen it, John?
Which video are we talking about?
There was a training video of him pretty much running, doing some
rounds.
I
have seen that. Yeah.
So I guess let's pull it up I'm going to pull it up if I can find it real quick. So for the viewers, but if you want to talk more about Justice Haynes, go for it, John. Oh, I got it already.
Yeah. No, I just think he's an exciting player, and this is what we do at Michigan. We don't, that's why the quarterback thing was so surprising last year, because usually Michigan doesn't rest on its laurels with one player. They go out and get some of the best talent that we can in the transfer portal. And here's Justice Haynes and his footwork, and you can just see his abilities to cut, to make spin moves. This footwork is really strong, just crisp, and that's what you need when you're a running back at Michigan.
Bro, he's going to kill it. This is why he was the number one running back coming out of the portal. Extremely high recruit coming out of high school. Alabama, he was just lower on the depth chart. Alabama's a loaded program. We got Justice Haynes now. He's going to, in my opinion, he's going to be RB1, and I think he's going to dominate next year. You could just see the ability, the balance, the quick feet, agility, all of it. The kid is kind of the full package, man. And I'm excited to watch him play, especially with our offensive line, especially with this offensive power spread offense with Chip Lindsey, our smash offense. Yeah, I mean, I'm very high on Justice Haynes, looking for a big year.
Yeah, and look, if he gets RB1, then great. If Jordan Marshall gets it, also great, because that means that means that the one beat the other in camp probably. But I think they're both getting a lot of play. Like, they are going to be 1A, 1B in some order. It just depends on what the order is. But I agree with you, Moose. I mean, this is the type of footwork that a Blake Corum was exhibiting. Now, Blake Corum is a tough bar, right?
Yeah.
He is maybe one of the best running backs we've ever seen. And brought Michigan to a victory in the Alabama game, in the national championship. Like, made just some key plays that were absolutely necessary. In the Ohio State game, can't forget that. So like, that's a tough bar, but I would say I can see similarities in the footwork. I can see similarities in the speed and how they move. There are differences, but I see where you're coming from, Moose.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Blake Corum had a little bit quicker burst, maybe, but I mean, I'm telling you, Justice Haynes is full package. I'm not mad at it. I do anticipate 1,000-yard year out of Justice Haynes.
Absolutely. And
now let's see. I'm interested to see who your next player is, John, because I swear to God, if we go 4 for 4.
Wolverine in Ohio has I have to agree that I need to see Andrew Marsh on that field. Friend of the program, Andrew Marsh. We've interviewed him on this show, TJ and I, and this is a player that I think both of us believe could be a starting wide receiver, likely in the Z position, starting wide receiver over a Fred Moore, who is somebody I was championing. But if he's good enough, he's going to start. And I'd say there's only like maybe 2 true freshmen that I could see. Andrew Marsh is one of those players that could actually do it, because of we've played his film a million times. But that chemistry, whether he gets assigned to the team with Bryce or the team with Mikey Keene, I'm really hoping he gets assigned to the team with Bryce. But given how they've done it in the past, they might go the other route.
Well,
We don't
yeah,
know, but that would be beautiful to watch.
Right, they do a draft, so we'll see where the players go. So so now our list is not in sync. I had Andrew Marsh 5. I do have a different number 4, but Andrew Marsh is on my list, so he's number 5, and I am extremely excited about Andrew Marsh. I do think, to your point, John, we are going to see Andrew Marsh. I think he's starting early, if not game 1, to start the year. And if he's not starting game 1, I expect him on the field in game 1. I think Andrew Marsh is arguably the most talented wide receiver in that room already. Now, granted, he does have some strength to gain, right? We need an offseason. We need an entire offseason of Michigan strength and conditioning. He also has to learn the playbook, and he also has to, get the feel and speed of the game at this level. But in terms of potential and ceiling, I think Andrew Marsh has the highest ceiling in that room right now. I'm extremely excited about him, and I do anticipate a fairly productive year as a freshman for Michigan next year.
For sure. And I'm curious if you happen to have Lawrence Hattar in your list anywhere, because Wolverine in Ohio also has Lawrence in his list. And I agree. This O-line in 2024, let's be honest, not Michigan's best. And that's a high bar because Michigan's had some really good O-lines the last couple of years. But I think that left guard is a position that Lawrence could come into 6'5", 335 pounds from Livonia.
Hold up. Lawrence Hattar actually is not joining Michigan until June. He will not be for spring practice or for spring games.
So we can't.
Is not. He will not.
Sorry, Wolverine. We can't put him in, but I want to see him so bad. Yeah. So I'm going to say that anyway.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. So we're looking at potentially Brady Norton or Nathan Afobe at left guard. I wouldn't be surprised to see if maybe they try and move Blake Frazier there. I mean, we'll find out what camp does where they move these guys. But currently left guard and Brady Norton, in my opinion, has some years of development. So we'll see. I mean, so left guard is a position we should be paying attention to. What is the rotation? How does it look? How's it stacking up against our defensive line? And it'll be interesting. I mean, I don't anticipate a freshman to start. I definitely don't anticipate a freshman to start spring game at left guard. But listen, it's a position where we are aware that we got to figure it out. We are aware of that, right? So we'll see how they handle it, who plays, and how do they look, and listen. We'll give a full. Here's the thing: we're going to the spring game. Yeah, we're doing a post game after the spring game, so we're going to give our analysis, our thoughts to the best of our ability while being at the stadium. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely an area where I'm very interested to see how they handle it.
Yeah, for sure. Any other kind of players top of mind for you that you're going to be looking at?
I have 3 more players that I'm very interested in watching. So my number 4 player is Donovan McCulley. As you guys know, you watch our show. I am so high on Donovan McCulley. I did have
him in my mind too, but yeah.
I do anticipate Donovan McCulley. I believe he's going to lead the team in yards and touchdowns next year as our ex-wide receiver. I expect a big year out of him, like I do Justice Haynes, and I think he's going to ball out. I really do. And I think if Bryce Underwood does get the starting position sooner than later, we're really going to see that excel, because his value is literally that medium to deep passing game. He is a jump ball wide receiver. He should be able to dominate. And especially the way that Chip Lindsey does his offense, it's going to be tough for a safety to cover over the top. I just think Don McCulley is going to get some opportunities, and I'm excited to watch him play, and especially in the spring game. Let's see how he's acclimated to Chip Lindsey's offense.
Yeah, I see McCulley doing extremely well in Chip Lindsey's offense, just because I know we were when Chip Lindsey was hired, we were looking at some of his UNC film, some of just what he was putting on the field the last couple of years, and I can see Donovan McCulley doing really well. He can be physical, he can be explosive, he can be that X position. I'm excited to definitely see him, because let's face it, the wide receiver room needed some help, and I think now you're going to see not only what he's capable of, but Samaj Morgan, right? He was open at various points during last year. Let's see what he can do in the spring game catching to whether he gets Bryce or whether he gets Mikey Keene. But let's hear the. I know you have two more.
Yep. So my final two, I'll kind of package them together, and so I'm excited to see what TJ Metcalf looks like on the back end of this defense.
Yeah,
I'm really excited to look at that. And then the other player, does Rod Moore play in this spring game? He should be ready. I think I'm pretty sure he should be. So if he is, then I want to see those two players and how they're looking on the back end of the defense. And now they probably won't be on the same team. We know how the spring game goes. There's a draft, but those two players on the back end, I'm really excited to see. I want to see how Rod Moore looks post injury if he does play. It'll be his first time back on the field, so I'm excited about that. But TJ Metcalf's a big one for me. I think we got a little bit of a playmaker back there, and I'm excited to watch him play as well.
Yeah. Metcalf is an explosive player. I think he could really add a lot to our team. And if Rod Moore plays, there are talks about him playing at potentially nickelback. And so what they could do, this could be interesting. They may give him a shot there in the spring game to see what he can do, because you're just playing against Michigan. You might as well check it out against live fire, see what's up, even if it's your own team.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's a lot to watch. I honestly contemplated throwing TJ Guy in there. I want to see how he looks. Like, he should be even more ready, right? I contemplated, Brandon Hillman. Like, I expect a big year out of Brandon Hillman, man. And he seems pissed off. If anyone sees him on social media, he seems a little pissed off. So maybe, hopefully for the good. Hopefully that just gives him some energy and, some fire to motivate him through the offseason. But, those are another name. I'll throw another name out there that I think, we should is Anthony Simpson, wide receiver we got from UMass. Let's see if he can shut up the haters and show everybody what the deal is. Here on this channel, we've also discussed, like, are we sure he can translate to the Power 4 level? Can he be a difference maker? Can he be an impact player? How much can he contribute? So maybe we see some Anthony Simpson sightings. Maybe Fred Moore also shows out, So I'm very excited to see this spring game. It's going to give us an idea. Obviously, we know in previous spring games, John, that some players like Ben Hall or Peyton O'Leary have shined on these games, and it doesn't necessarily translate all the time. But at the end of the day, I'm already starving for football a little bit. I'm about to be like crawling through a desert looking for water by April. So I'll take it, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long since the national championship. We just had the Super Bowl, and already I'm talking to some people about going to some DC Defenders games. So we're really scraping it here. Going to Audi Field for some UFL football action coming up here in the spring. So looking forward to April and seeing everybody in the spring game. Anybody else that you had top of mind for the spring game you wanted to see?
That's my list. The rest of the guys we already know. Like, we know Houseman, we know Barham, we know Barry, we know Hill. So like it's and you can't say the offensive line as a whole because it's gonna be so mixed matched. There's no chemistry really. It's just a lot of one-on-one battles, and so that's kind of where I am, John. That's my list for the spring game.
Nice. So
hey, actually, timeout. Jaden Davis.
Oh,
I want to see Jaden Davis throwing mechanics. Let's see if Jaden Davis has developed a little bit better throwing mechanics, and I'm rooting for the kid. I'm hoping, because I know he didn't transfer, he didn't run. He's here to compete. And we saw some videos early in the season about his mechanics, and there were some questions. Let's see Jaden Davis on that field actually play, because we were all calling for it in the Alabama game for a moment, right? So yeah, so that Jaden Davis is actually a player I would like to watch.